and welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that break. Hope you enjoyed that brutal OST, because we have returned with our first semifinals of ESL Open Cup Americas number 206. And if you're in the chat, predictions are open. Place your bets on how you think this series will unfold. Will it go the way of the Zerg or the way of the Protoss? Predictions open. Bam. There you go. You have a couple of minutes upon hearing this message to place your bets on how you think this series will go. As spawning in the top right hand corner of our Kiona, we have our red Protoss player from the land of China, representing Dragon KZ Gaming, DKZ. It is JieShi. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, going for a 15 hatch into a 15 spawning pool, we have our blue Zerg player, representing Starlight Twinkle. It is Wayne. And I did see a couple of people in the chat, like Alex G. Did see Alex G in the chat. Some people that were here with us earlier today in ESL Open Cup Europe. You would know that Wayne also made it to the semifinals of ESL Open Cup Europe hours ago at this point. Quite some time ago, actually. But he did make it to the semifinals, where he met his end at the hands of Cristiano. Cristiano, the Polish Protoss player, went all the way to the ace match, but did go the way of Cristiano in the end. What I will say, though, is that JieShi is a very different kind of player. Cristiano, as you remember, does have a very specific style, going for this very immortal Archon-heavy composition, not standard whatsoever. He goes for delayed third base into this kind of death ball of an army, and snowballs out of control. JieShi is a lot more standard. Does thrive in the mid game, is what I will say, but a lot more standard in his approach. So I do want to say that Wayne will have a much more easier time reading his opponents, but we'll see. We'll see if he's able to pull that off. When it comes to his opener of choice, again, 15 hatch into a 15 spawning pool. This is just designed to throw down the hatchery on location to make sure that it is undisturbed. It is a little bit less economic, but overall is able to get his base where he wants it to be without being disturbed by this probe. Third base is thrown down as well. So it is going to be 15-15 into our gas, into our third base. Behind this, JieShi is soon to throw down his tech of choice. Based on the pylon positioning, it doesn't actually look like a Stargate. Could be a Twilight Council, but now there it is. Stargate opener from JieShi is thrown down here. Closer to the base, this is a little bit of a give and take. The pylon was thrown down next to the gas geyser. On the one hand, this is very efficient because it means that the probe goes back to mining very quickly. But on the other hand, it means that the Stargate is closer to your base, not as far away. So we'll see what unit we go for. Do we go for the Oracle, Void Ray, or Phoenix? I am curious here. The unit is actually poised to go straight for the Overlord. This is looking like a Void Ray opener, which would then make sense. It would make sense if the Stargate was pulled back a little bit further, closer to the main base, if we wanted to go for something hidden. And yep, there it is, Void Ray. Okay. It's all coming together. This is why the Stargate was thrown down a little bit closer to the main, just so we can keep not just what comes next, but everything hidden here when it comes to whether we go for a Twilight Council, a second Stargate. There it is. Very fast Twilight Council. This looks like Glaive Adepts. The Void Ray is going to be hunting down this Overlord, keeping Wayne in the dark as to what is going to be the follow-up. There's gateways. Glaives should be on the way. The reason why I say Glaives is because there's no Forge. No Forge, no upgrades. Upgrades typically lead into one of the other tech units, whether it's Charge Lots or Blink Stalkers. But again, we'll see if we commit to the Glaive Adepts. Void Ray does arrive and will shut down the Overlord. Behind this, JieShi is going to be throwing down a third base. Now, this is not an all-in. Bear that in mind. This is not an all-in from the Protoss player. It is just designed to cripple the economy and to get ahead. There it is. There are those Glaives in production. We still need to set up that third base. We still need to get into our economy. Now, what's important here is that this is Glaive Adepts without a robo. There is no robo. It's going to be 4-gate Glaive Adepts, which means we warp in all the Adepts back at home in the natural base, and then we zoom across the map by foot. And again, the goal here is to try to surprise the Zerg player. I'm a little bit concerned. Okay, there we go. I was like, if this goes on any longer without a Roach Warren, then Wayne may just die. It's possible to just straight up die against this if you aren't ready. Thankfully, we have a safety Roach Warren on the way. Wayne is playing it safe and sound. We'll have access to Roaches in time for the attack. At the same time, the Void Ray does overextend. It takes a lot of hits and gets the hell out of there. Wayne getting ready here on his 3-base setup, joining up to 53, working towards his gas geysers, getting an Evo chamber for +1. I imagine +1 range, but we'll see if we invest into melee. There it is, range is on the way. So this should be a Roach Ravager based or Roach Ravager heavy composition. This can transition into, oh, as we cancel the upgrade, I was going to say this can transition into Hydras later on, but here we go, the Adepts, they do arrive, and immediately Wayne, he evacuates that base. Does pull back in time, and is he going to be able to wall up? Oh, Queens are going down left and right. We have 12 Roaches in production. So far, we haven't lost any workers yet, but the Adepts, they have a lot of potential. They shade into the main. They shade right into the main base. So far, haven't gotten into a mineral line yet. Roaches are holding on. But the Adepts, they're breaking through. They're getting into the mineral line. Drones are falling left and right. 5 workers go down. And we shade back towards the National. We do have a full of Queens. We force the recall. Whew. And that was a pretty good defense overall. Looking at the units lost tab, that was 5 Adepts for 5 drones. Ideally, JieShi wanted to trade better than that. JieShi, he wanted more damage. Meanwhile, Wayne, he maintains his economy. He's taking his gases. Now we can start up +1 range instead. He can also start up roach speed as well. Bit of a link counterattack. Just getting eyes on things. Just making sure that everything's on the up and up. And Wayne has survived. Wayne is now in a much better position. JieShi transitioning. Now, the other downside here of Glaive Adepts is, as you can imagine, going and investing into Glaives means that everything else is delayed. Your Blink is delayed. +1 is delayed. Your Forge as well. But the Adepts, they shade back in. Oh my god. They shade somehow back into the main, back towards the 3rd base, and this is getting out of hand. This is getting out of control. 4 Adepts is all you need, and 15 drones. An entire mineral line goes down. The defense was good. The defense was good initially, but in the follow-up, Wayne, he was resting on his laurels. He just wasn't quite paying attention, wasn't in position. I wasn't in position either. I wasn't expecting more Adepts to shade in. And now JieShi finds himself in a good position. Oh boy. JieShi on 66 workers compared to the 68 of Wayne. Wayne is droning hard here, trying to recover, working towards an infestation bit. This is going to be leading into Hive Tech, Hydras, and Lurkers. So again, Hydra Lurker Viper is where Wayne wants to go. But just because he wants the Hydra Lurker Viper doesn't mean he can get it. As before that occurs, JieShi, he is setting himself up on 3 bases, mining through these minerals, getting towards the 4th. Base on the way, 4 Disruptors, 4 Colossi. JieShi just amassing his army. And I do want to say that there is going to be a window of opportunity where JieShi can push out before Wayne is ready for it. Here we go. Adepts once again threatening a shade towards the left-hand side. We have the Stalkers and Immortals towards the right. Void Ray doing what it can here in the middle. Just being annoying. Cleaning up whatever creep we can. Wayne is still droning, by the way. Still saturating. There's that Lurker Den in production. But I'm pretty sure JieShi can push before the Lurkers are ready. But we'll see. The Adepts, they do get caught out. This time a big catch here from Wayne. He cleans up the Adepts. It will not happen again. He will not lose a mineral line. Not twice. But here comes the push. Again, Lurker Den is still halfway done. And we are committing. We have +1 Blink Stalkers, soon to be +2. We have Immortals. We have a Sentry for Force Fields. And that Void Ray as an anchor point. Ravagers are still in production. Now, what's important here is that JieShi isn't actually forcing his way up the ramp because he's working on Disruptors. Still taking up, working on Disruptors, working on +2. But he did force a reaction out of Wayne. He forced out a lot of units, a lot of Ravagers. Wayne still not at 80 workers. JieShi, he's going to be chilling. Waiting for his 4th base to get up and running. Now, because he's chilling, Wayne still has a chance. Wayne, he is getting into Vipers. Vipers have just popped out. We have one of them here gathering up energy. So even though JieShi is taking up into Robotech, into Disruptors, we have the Viper to counteract that. Meanwhile, the Lings, they get in. The wall is not a wall. And those Adepts, they may have killed workers earlier, but these Lings are looking to wreak havoc in the main base. We do force a recall. With that recall, these Lings, they shouldn't get much done. They get 1 pylon. They're going to be hunted down. Say that they do manage to try to get further into They managed to get further into the main base, but these things will be cleaned up. Oof. A brutal trade there from Wayne. But again, lurkers have arrived. We have the lunkers, we have the hydras, we have the vipers. Lurker range just finished up. Wayne is maxed. So is JieShi. How good are these Novas going to be? First Nova goes up. Big connection. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4 lurkers go down. We do yoink with the Nova. Connects once again, and this is not the fight that Wayne was looking to take. He gets surrounded. His lurkers are trapped, and he's going to get completely cleaned up. The vials, some of them connect at least, but this was not worth it as JieShi shuts down that army. He shuts it down. How many lurkers was that? 8 lurkers went down. That was the moment. That was the power spike for Wayne, is hitting those lurkers. But now he lost every single one. He's now trying to replace those lurkers desperately. We have a massive warp in, and JieShi's looking to snowball out of control. Does close the distance. Lurkers are finishing up just in time. Good yoink here on the disruptor. Very good yoink. But alas, there are just so many stalkers here. We do have detection available. We have to be careful to overextend. Those lurkers, they're doing a lot of damage. Getting a lot done. But there we go. We dive on the lurkers themselves. They're left exposed. Every single lurker goes down. Never goes off. But the Hydra should clean this up. Big overextension. JieShi does overextend. Wayne is still in this. He may have lost all of his lurkers, but he just cleaned up the army of JieShi. And we can keep pushing. The Prism goes down. What do we have at home to defend? We have Stalkers. Wayne, he still needs a moment here to replenish his army. Wayne suddenly has momentum. The pendulum, it swings back and forth, now back in favor of Wayne. Initially, things were looking good for JieShi, but he did overextend. Nova goes off. Oh. Ooh, doesn't connect. JieShi trying to build up a massive gateway-based composition. Charge lots and Stalkers. But in a head-to-head fight, I have to favor Wayne. The Lunkers, Papi. The Lunkers, they are doing it. They're pulling this off. We're going to be peeling off a little bit here towards the right-hand side. Going to be forcing reaction out of JieShi. And now we're pushing in between the bases. In between the natural and the third base as well. Disruptor gets caught out. It's going to get yoinked in. The Lurkers are being focused down. Very good target firing here from JieShi. He may be able to clean this up. We do force the overcharge. Well, the Zealots are a little bit distracted. Stalkers on their own are struggling against the Hydras, and we have some reinforcing Lurkers. Meanwhile, 15 workers went down. The Lurker got into the mineral line. 15 probes fell. Here we go, Wayne. It looks like he has done it. It looks like he has broken his opponent. Things are looking dire. Things are looking rough. But he brings it back. GG gets called, and Wayne will take game number 1. Whew. Oh my, GG. That was very back and forth. Wayne, he had a really rough fight with his first wave. His first wave of Lurkers were lackluster. He did just find himself in a really awkward position. He got himself surrounded, he got himself cleaned up, and suddenly things were looking in favor of JieShi. But JieShi, he was lacking reinforcements, he was lacking additional disruptors or additional immortals, some kind of backbone to his army. He only had a handful of robo units, and with that, Wayne was able to bring it back under his control, take game number 1 in the end, and take a lead in the series. Does take a lead in the series. Whew. Now we're getting ready for game number 2. We are getting ready for it. And game 2 is going to be taking place on Oceanborn. Let's go. Let us go. And this could go either way here again. I feel like if anything, if game 1 showed us anything, it's that these two players, they're pretty close in skill. They're pretty comparable. And I would personally love an ace match. Gibbs game 3. Vamonos. And spawning In the top left-hand corner of Oceanborn, we have the Chinese Protoss player, the red Protoss representing DragonKaiZ Gaming, DKZ. It is JieShi. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Zerg player representing Starlight Twinkle. Taking that first game, taking a lead in the series, it is Wayne. Here we go. So, Harsh made a video about this called Dealing with Lurkers, emphasizing that as a Protoss, you shouldn't just run across the map after winning a fight. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, JieShi, he did win a really strong fight. Don't get me wrong. Like, he had a lot of momentum on his side, but he did overextend when it came to. Oh, we're going for a hatch block. Let's go. But he did overextend. He was lacking. Like, again, we spoke about it. He was lacking additional robo units behind his army. He was pushing up a ramp into lurkers. He eventually did kill the lurkers on top of that ramp, if you remember. But he lost too much in the process. He lost far too much in the process. It was not worth it in the end. So yeah, basically JieShi being a little bit too trigger happy, a little bit too over eager and overconfident after winning a fight. A little bit too excited, Bobby, a little bit too excited. As we do see Wayne disrupting the opener here, disrupting the economy of JieShi. It's going to be a hatch gas pool into a hatchery on the low ground. This is designed to, again, disrupt the economy and make things a little bit more awkward for JieShi early on. We shouldn't be looking to finish the hatchery, we should be looking for a cancel. As boys have been pulled, Zealot arrives. And Wayne should not allow this hatchery to finish. Back at home, he has thrown down his hatchery. There's a cancel. From here, Wayne should be trying to double back into the main base to maybe steal a gas geyser. Oh god. As he takes a lot of hits. He does try to double back in. There we go. He slips into the main, going for that mineral line. You can try to steal that gas geyser if the opportunity presents itself. Otherwise, we could just try to double back down to the low ground. There it is. He does steal the gas. Beautiful. Gas has been stolen. And we're going to be keeping the Zealot that much more busy here back at home. Meanwhile, JieShi is not going Adept. He's going Stalker. Okay. So usually we see an Adept so we can counterattack with Zealots and with Adepts, but it's not the case. And Wayne, he's going for an all-in. He is cutting workers at 18. That is a Bailey Nest. He's not pulling out of gas, and he's going for a massive Bane Bust. Oh boy. He's putting it all on the line here and now. Lings are going to be moving out across the map. They're amassing back at home as well in the mineral line, waiting to pull the trigger, waiting for Ling speed to finish. And these Lings, these are what is to be Banelings. These are going to be the Banelings here being morphed across the map. And JieShi is going for a Robo Opener, which is very defensive. It's not a bad opener. The problem is he's in the dark. And the Zealous is a part of the wall, not the Stalker. Banelings are on the way. Lings are moving out. We're pulling the trigger. And we still don't know what's going on. No shield battery, no second pylon, no sack defense, no nothing here on the low ground. A sentry is on the way. Sentry will help. But the sentry is too late because Wayne, he arrives first. Now we see a shield battery. Now we realize what's been going on. And the Banelings, they will crash in. Oh god, they take down the Zealot, but can we break through the Adept? We need to break through. The sentry arrives. And we do force field. A big moment here. Again, the execution here was just a little bit lacking for Wayne. Not able to break through. Behind this, he's droning. Oh, this is a rough time to drone. Wayne is behind. His economy here is so far behind. We have immortal production commencing for JieShi. And Wayne has to back off. Oof, he did break through the first Zealot, but he wasn't able to break through the Adept. And with that, JieShi is held. And Wayne has a lot of catching up to do. There's a lot of catching up to do here. As he's going to be stuck droning, stuck resaturating that natural, taking his third base. From here, JieShi can push in two bases. Yeah, I like this gateway explosion. You can do one of two things. If you're JieShi, you can either take a third and just get ahead, or you can double down and go for an all-in. This is going to be 6 gates in total. After this Immortal, we should be seeing a War Prism to reinforce. There we go. War Prism's on the way. And Wayne doesn't really have the economy to sustain Roach production. With only Ling Queen, or Ling Bane Queen, it's gonna be rough. What's gonna be king in this attack is Sentry. Sentry is gonna be ideal. There's no Ravagers to deal with those force fields. There's that warp in. Now, can JieShi pull off the execution here? Because the pressure is on. He is ahead. He did defend the all-in. He did defend the Bane Bus, and now we need to pull off the counter-attack. Here we go. We have 3 sentries, 2 immortals. We have the War Prism to reinforce and to juggle, to micro back those units. Wayne looks like he's getting ready for potentially a counter-attack, or maybe to catch some reinforcements. Things are moving out. We're amassing Lings back at home. Pure Ling to defend. Or Lings and Banelings. Okay, this is going to come down to the force fields. Across the map, the Lings are turning back around. The Banelings! They will not crash in, but they also don't die. We do preserve the Banelings. They do pull back. So they're coming back in. Force fields, another wave get thrown down as well. Banelings, they crash into Zealots, but they cannot break through. Good force fields here from JieShi. GG gets called, and we are going to the ace match. GG. Wayne trying to catch his opponent off guard with the Bane Bust. Unable to pull it off in the end. Unable to really get things going. And with that, GG. GG, well played. We're going to game 3. All the way, Bobby. All the way. We go. I believe game 3 is going to be on Site Delta, if I recall correctly. Oh. It is going to be Site Delta. Here we go, as we are getting into our next game. Into game 3. It looks like we're being joined by some of our other casters. It looks like Special versus Jason has concluded. Wait, hold on. I need to check the bracket. Wait, did Special versus Euthermal conclude? Wait. Was it Special versus Jason? What's happening? Did Jason beat Disc? No shot. He did. Jason beat Disc. That's crazy. Here we go, spawning in the top left-hand corner of Side Delta, we have the Chinese Protoss player, the Red Protoss representing DragonKaiser Gaming, surviving that all-in, able to pull off his own. It is JieShi. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the Blue Zerg player, representing Starlight Twinkle, being forced into the ace match. It is Wayne. Go. We are getting into the final game here of the series. Once again, going to be sending a drone across the map. Once again, going for a hatch block. Let's go. Again, Wayne has been quite fond of it recently. He's been quite fond of these. Oh, there we go. Anki letting us know. Special did win that last match. Gracias, papi, gracias. So Special is waiting. Oh my god. Wait, what? He's faking out a cannon rush. I mean, Wayne, yeah, he's not going to fall for it because he's going for the hatch block. Okay. So JieShi faking out a cannon rush across the map. He is going to be denied his natural as Wayne does go for the hatchery instead. So it's going to be a hatch before gas before pool. So hatch, gas, pool. And the goal here for this hatchery, again, is just to delay the expansion, just to disrupt the economy. We are not intending to allow this hatchery to finish. We're not rushing into Lings or any kind of aggression. Pylons are going to be threatened. boys were actually pulled. Oh, Wayne, overreacting a little bit. I mean, he should be aware of the lack of a forge. There is no forge. Again, just pulling some extra workers here. Dealing with this hatchery. And hopefully we do get a cancel here. It's going to be close. Ooh, it's going to be close. It's canceled in the end. From here, JieShi can finally expand. Wayne can once again go for the gas steal, just like we saw in the previous game. And hopefully this time, we're able to hold on to our gas guys. We get a kill on the drone. JieShi is getting into his own opener. Meanwhile, behind this, Wayne, he does get link speed. He hasn't pulled out a gas completely. This is interesting. To be fair, it is a delayed gas, guys, so maybe that's why we're staying in. But typically, we do pull out of gas. That's why I'm pointing this out, so I'm curious what this gas is going to be spent on. Third base is being taken. Lings are amassing just to clean up these rocks. And JieShi, once again, is going for a robo opener. Okay. Interesting. With this robo opener, we can try to go for another 2-base all-in. You know, a Sentry, Immortal kind of Soul Train-esque all-in. Very similar to what we saw last game on Oceanborn. Very similar. Or this can actually lead into a Disruptor drop. We could see a Robotics Bay and a Warp Prism Speed, Disruptor, and go for a drop play instead. We have options. We have options depending on how committed or how aggressive we want to be. The the Overlord does dive in, and we do get eyes on the Robo on the tech of choice. Wayne is aware. Ooh, we do have a Sentry on the way. I'm feeling Immortals. Oh, okay, Prism. War Prism. War Prism's in production. Sentry, I guess, just for safety. Meanwhile, we do have Wayne throwing down his own safety Roach Warren at around the 4-minute mark to defend against gateway aggression. We do have a third gateway behind this, so it's going to be 3 gateways here alongside the Warp Prism. We can be quite active on the map with this, as we can warp in 3 units at a time. Here we go, we are pushing. As we move out, we can expand. Immortal production now commences. And Wayne is getting ready to receive cutting workers at 42, making links and roaches. As JieShi is pushing, just denying creep. Again, it's only 3 stalkers. Denying as much creep as he can. Trading with the lings. And that is a Twilight Council and Forge before third base. We are quite committed here. Cristiano, is that you? Like, this is almost how Cristiano plays. I'm getting some deja vu, unironically. With this, yeah, we're working towards Immortals. I'm curious if this Twilight Council is just for Templar Archives, or if we're actually going to be prioritizing Charge or Blink. Good control here so far, trading with those lings, or trading with the soldiers against the lings. Lara's on the way. We're on an okay worker count. There it is. Charge is in production. Getting more gateways. Still no third. Got a very delayed third base here from JieShi. With these 3 gateways, it's a 2-base all-in. Like, it's 6 gates in total. We could even... Could we afford a 7th and 8th gateway? I don't think we can, because we're getting into Immortal production. But it's going to be a 6-gate all-in here from JieShi. Welcome to the Soul Chain. He's looking to expand, but the Ling is here to deny him. And again, we are committed. We are setting up for an expansion. But again, we have been amassing this army. We're going to be hitting a timing with these upgrades with +1 and with Charge. Spire is... Oh god. Spire is on the way. I mean, Wayne, the problem is that he has a piece of the puzzle. He doesn't realize how committed this is. Like, there's a third bay on the way. Yes, that is true, but we have a pretty terrifying ground army. take down the Stalker. Ooh, as we do pile down the Observer. Very nice moves here from Wayne. Okay, the question becomes, are we pushing? Like, we have an intense army here. We have the Warp Prism to reinforce. We should be moving out with this. Yeah, there we go. Warping in another wave of Zealots. Behind this, 2 more gates, so it's going to be 8 gates in total, plus the Templar Archives. 4th base is in production, and we are finally pushing. Now, because there's a third behind this, this isn't fully committed. Like, we do have, you know, our next step ahead of us as well. But there's still a lot of potential in this army, just because of 4 Immortals, and the Archons as well. There's a lot of firepower here. 3 Mutas on the way. I'm concerned that the Mutas are going to kill us. Lings, they come in for a big counterattack. They get on top of the Hatchery. Hatchery? On top of the Nexus. You get on top of that shield battery as well. JieShi is going to be committing. He is committing across the map. Running into a wall of roaches. And I think we have enough to hold on. Wayne has a pretty hefty amount of roaches available. 25 roaches in total and 6 Ravagers. Files, they take down those force fields, but the force fields, they don't stop. We do slice up a lot of those roaches. Good control so far out of JieShi. Trading very efficiently. At the same time, the Zealots, they wreak havoc at the third base. They take down 11 drones. JieShi gets a lot of damage done. Does lose an Archon. But he's looking to force his way into that natural. Leads across the map, they got cleaned up. We're getting on top of the tech. Spire, not too important. We are amassing roaches. The boys, they have to be pulled. Here come those Zealots. Zealots are a little bit late. The Immortals are being focused down. Where's the Prism? We need the Prism. Or do we? Because we break through the natural base. There's barely any roaches left, and it looks like JieShi just has too much. The 4 Immortal push. Too much DPS, too much firepower. Good force fields as well. With that, there are Lings across, sorry, the Mutas are across the map. But we have broken the natural, and soon we have broken the main base as well. Ooh, while they do take down one of those sentries. Wayne, can he survive? Can he hold on? We have reinforcements on the way. It's going to be close. JieShi juggling his heart out. And we had a warping of Stalkers back at home. The Vials do connect. We're down to 1 Immortal remaining. 1 Immortal is left. Boys are being pulled into charge lots. The Immortal focusing down as many roaches as we can. The boys are adding quite a bit to this though. We're down to only 1 roach. We're down to 1 Ravager, and it looks like, yeah, we just don't have enough here. JieShi, he has broken the main base. Even across the map, the Mutas are doing what they can, but there's only 4 Mutalists left. GG gets called, and JieShi will take the series 2-1, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. GG, well played. My heart goes out to Wayne, the bridesmaid, always the bridesmaid, never the bride. Earlier today in ESL Open Cup EU, Wayne also made it to the semifinals, also made it to the ace match, but got knocked down by Cristiano. Likewise, a similar story here, he gets knocked down by JieShi as well. But GG, congratulations to JieShi being able to keep up with the aggression and the shenanigans of his opponent. Wayne, of course, incorporating his own Ling Bane busts, his own hash blocks as well, trying to be in the driver's seat, trying to dictate the pace of the game. But alas, JieShi was more than willing to roll with the punches as well. Like, this last game was so peculiar for JieShi to delay his third base for so long, to tech up, get into Immortal production, into Archons, eventually still take a third base, but not really commit. And with that, we have our grand finals here. It is going to be JieShi versus Special. I did mention it before, but Special, we took down Euthermal 2-0. Special also took down Jason, as Jason had a really impressive showing against Disc. I did not expect it. I didn't expect Jason to bring down Disc. I thought Disc versus Special was a sure thing. So very impressive by Jason as we are getting into this TVP.